Okay, so I'm uploading this video because I was wrongly terminated from my job at the Ralph Lauren Fulfillment Center in High Point, North Carolina. I've worked for them previously before a couple years back, and recently, within the last year and a half, I joined the same company, but I went to a different city. And I was in Greensboro first, and then I went to High Point. Well, I worked in a department called inventory control. And this Ralph Lauren warehouse has different departments, but the department I worked in was mainly counting the merchandises that was coming in. And we all had our own aisles to work on. There were hundreds and hundreds of aisles. This is a really huge warehouse, and everyone had one aisle to work on, and that was their aisle for however many remaining time it takes for them to finish counting. But we all had a certain amount of boxes to count and rows to count, and a certain amount of time. It couldn't be slow and it couldn't be too fast, because then it would be considered cheating, because they would think that, there's no possible way that you will be counting all of these boxes, thousands and thousands, and get finished in like less than 3 days. That is impossible. So that was a way that they were able to keep track of who was really counting, um and yeah. So we also had a kiosk pad that we scanned the boxes. So we had to scan the SKU number on the box. Then we also had to scan the case label. We also had to scan any place on there that needed to be scanned before we hand counted these things. So like we had to hand count them first and then scan the box and the SKU number and generate the numbers inside of a kiosk pad. Easy job. I've been there for about a year and a half, and I have watched my boss. He was a coordinator. He's still a coordinator. I'm not sure if he's there or not, but he was a coordinator, and every now and then I would catch him picking and choosing who he wanted to chastise based on their production, and which was a little bit unfair, if not a lot, the most of unfair. Um, I've actually had to watch him. Um, Long story short, I've caught him treating whites that were working there. He had more favoritism over them when they were not counting. And it was kind of upsetting me, because here I am coming to work every single day. I haven't missed a day of work. I came on time. Let me repeat that. I haven't missed a day of work in a year. I came to work on time every single day. I even came to work in the snow on a bicycle, because that was my only way of transportation. When it rained, I rode my bicycle. Again, my only way of transportation. I've had to walk to work before, my only way of transportation. I've caught some Lyfts and some Ubers. Bottom line is, I was mistreated there because Here I am following the rules over and over, staying in my aisle, counting my boxes, going to lunch on time, my breaks is on time. Everything was legit. There was no reason for the coordinator, the boss/coordinator, who is undercoverly racist, no reasons for him to terminate me, because for the simple fact, the person who looks at the production is a deco. I was working through a temp agency. We were placed at Ralph Lauren, and the temp agency was giving us updates of our production, our time, our attendance, and things of that nature. So every once in a while, we would get an update, and one of the representatives that works for Adecco, who was giving me the updates, had zero complaints from my coordinator or anyone else in that department. And it really, really got under my skin, because every once in a while, his name is Trey, by the way. And yes, he's white. And I don't have a problem with white people at all, but racism still exists, and I do have to acknowledge it when it's there. Okay. Back to what I was saying. It really got under my skin, because here I am following the rules, coming to work every single day, getting my production numbers up, coming to work on time, not missing any days, and just respectful and just willing to continue, regards how I got to work or what I was coming from. I came to work and performed my duties as told. And it really got under my skin, because I actually had to sit back and watch him pick and choose who he wanted to come after. And I had a problem with that, because I used to see him with this white girl who was kind of flirtatious, but wasn't annoying in a way. But that's, that has nothing to do with it. The bottom line is that you showed her favoritism, because here I am in a line in my aisles counting my boxes. And this is like honest counting. Like literally, we have to count it one by hand first, then press the number in the kiosk pad, then scan the case label, then scan the school number on the package with the item, and then move on to the next box and count it like that. This had to be non-stop, because the computer would look at your kiosk pad results and show your consistency, time gaps, and everything like that. So they already know if you're taking a break, if you've been long, if it took you an hour or 30 minutes to count this box, it knows it's already generated in a computer through the kiosk pad. So I was a little bit hurt, because we have one person here, or a couple, a few people, who decided, who were not colored, who showed favoritism, because they had the largest time gaps between the times that they were counting within each boxes. And also because it's demonstrated that they were literally walking around the building, lollygagging, talking, doing everything in the book to try to cut corners and not work nonstop like the rest of us. And I got offended by that, because here I am working nonstop. I don't care what other people do. That's none of my business. But I was hurt, because, okay, here I am doing everything I'm asked to do. And then all of a sudden, someone else doesn't do anything that they're supposed to do, but you pick and choose who you want to chastise due to the complaints. Because when I saw this happening, I did the number one thing that you are supposed to do when you're being mistreated or misguided at a workplace, which was reported at a human resource department. When I reported this in writing, I've had literally more than 2 to 3 to 4 statements I had to handwrite and bring up forth to an Adecco staffing agent because they were in control of the hiring process of who leaves and who goes, who comes and stays. So that's what my biggest issue was with Trey, because he actually lied so many times. And when I asked my Adecco agent, which is her name is Paige, which you guys would get that when I go live and talk to you on the phone. When I talk to her over the phone and I'm live, you will see that I'm telling the truth. And then there will be a lawsuit because there was some racism in there. Then I would have to get with the NAACP and all that. But first, let me get on the phone and so we can get some verification so she can talk to me and you guys can hear the truth that she says. So her name is Paige. I went to Paige and I described what was going on to her. I said, hey, Paige, I'm having some issues here. I said, I come to work every single day. I haven't missed a day of work. I come to work on time. My productions are up always, and I haven't had any complaints. Now, Trey continues to come to me and say that I need to speed up and my production is low and I need to understand what's going on, because he's come to me saying that he's got this report, but you are the one who determines who production is high or low through the database system. You determine who needs to speed up the process, and you determine who needs to come in for a conversation about the work ethics. And I said, Paige, will you please tell me why he's coming to me and telling me this? So Paige comes to me and Paige says, Trey doesn't have any reports about you doing anything wrong. Trey doesn't have any reports about your production. He doesn't have anything about you that I have. He hasn't wrote any report. I said, so why is it that he's coming to me behind closed doors with confrontation or with issues regarding my production? So she had no idea. She couldn't understand. So I looked at Paige and I told her, I said, do you see what's going on? Do you see what's going on? He does not like me because of I'm reporting unfair behavior, and no one else that has been working here has been doing that. Now, I can see some people who weren't working and reported. Then it would be no favor because it's showing in a computer database system that they haven't worked. So they can complain all day. But in this case, I'm working and I'm reporting. So at least you can do is show favoritism for me. Again, Paige did not have anything to say other than, yes, I believe that is unfair. That is not right. He should not be doing that. Now, this is where I draw the line. So if she knows that I'm correct and she agrees that this was unfairly done, and she has the power to hire and fire, why is Trey still there, and why did I have to leave? Not to mention Paige is white. And you know what? I really thank the other staff members that were there who were Hispanic, who saw the type of work I was doing, who saw the truth in me, who saw what was going on from the jump, from start to finish. I was there for a whole 7 to 8 months until I finally spoke out about the unfairness. So I started writing my statements. I didn't speak out before because I didn't want any issues. And at the time, I was in a rooming house. I was trying to pay my rent. I didn't want to lose my job. I had so much I needed to do, and I could not risk it. So once I got on my feet and I started getting my money saved up, my bills paid, and things like that, I could care less anymore because now I can leave. I can leave because that's what was dangerous. I wanted to make this report earlier, but I could not make the report because I wanted to keep my job. And I did not have enough money saved up to just get up and leave because I didn't want to go through that process of struggling again, knowing I didn't have no one to help me. So I had to sit there and stay there and come to work every single day and deal with this for the next 8.5 months. Then around the 9th and 10th month, I started writing my statements and my reports of his unfairness. So I've had Adecco staffing come in, and they've brung in people who investigated through this. Some people took my statements, or some people just took my handwritten statements that I've, handwritten or verbally had a conversation with about this unfairness, because he would have whites, his favorites, which were white, like I just said, lollygag and talk and chat and waste time and have a large time gap, and you do not come after them. And why is that? Because they're white. And the reason why I said that he did not come after them is because, for one thing, he was already established in his mind to do for his own kind from the jump, because there is no way in the world, no one made a report or felt the same way I felt and didn't do anything about it. Now, the people who got fired, some of them were literally not working, okay? And then some of them, literally, their production was just like low. Then on the other hand, I felt some type of way because here we are in the middle of this office with my complaints, and Adecco sees that he has records of reports of him doing things like this over and over and over again, and no one has took the initiative to get rid of this man. It's making me believe that either someone else is racist in that department and allowing him to do what he wants to do, because it's already demonstrated to me. It's already been demonstrated to me. So you can say whatever you want. You done demonstrated it. So that was my biggest issue. Then, to put the icing on the cake, either someone else was racist in there that's allowing him to do what he wants to do, or someone in there he's related to that's a family member that is allowing him to do whatever he wants. It's either or they're just scared to do something about it. Because once you have a person who has been doing everything in the book that they tell an actual employee to do, and they don't have any records, they've been on time, they've been following the rules and gotten they kind of work on time, they haven't had any type of problems, and see, my things like this, you're supposed to look out for people like that. And my biggest issue was no one offered me and Trey and the human resources to come into a meeting in a room to have a conversation. No one. They took my note and they said they would have a conversation with him separately. And I'm not even in the room. See, no one has a conversation like that, which is really, really, really suspicious. So yes, I did call it out. To me, that is racist. He's being racist because I've sit there and witnessed white people chit chat with him, wasting time all day, walk around, do what they want to do. And it was some blacks that were doing what they wanted to do also. But the thing was, and it was some Hispanics doing what they wanted to do. The difference between me and them is that I've reported his unfair behavior and no one else reported it. I've reported his unfair behavior and I was still working like I was supposed to be. Others reported his unfair behavior and some of them weren't even working, so they didn't have backup. But I have backup. I have production numbers up. My data has been reached every single day to the limit. I have everything that I need to keep that job, and it was terminated. He ended my assignment. He couldn't fire me because Adecco said that he doesn't have that right to do that. He can only end your assignment. Yeah, I thought so. You can't fire me. Only I can fire myself. Yeah, you can't fire me. And see, that's how I know something suspicious was going on, because Paige said he had no right to even do that. So this is my problem with Paige. Why are you allowing him to do that if you can see who's right in this picture? So I'm going to have a conversation on the phone next week. I'm going to try to get her on the phone on Monday. I'm going to get her on the phone. We are going to go live. I'm going to live stream it. And when we get her clarification, I'm going to contact the Adecco branch, main branch in Greensboro, North Carolina. I'm going to get on the phone with a woman who is over top of Paige, who I spoke with the day of me actually coming to her office after I was wrongly terminated. And I'm going to let you guys hear so you guys can get feedback and understand what is going on down here in North Carolina. Okay, with these racist white people. And some of these, and not even just in North Carolina, I'm speaking out in just general. Yes, racism still exists. Okay. If someone tells you that it's not about color, we all know it's not about color. It's not about that. We all need to be created equal, but it is what it is. Okay. You cannot say that racism don't exist. And if someone can actually sense of something racist, then 9 times out of 10, then it needs to be identified and adjusted and dealt with, because it is what it is. People are racist nowadays. They still are racist. So I will let you guys know. Hopefully I can call her on Monday. I'll give you guys the information. I'll let you guys be there. Just be willing to watch it. And if you don't watch it live, you can always watch it later. I'm going to put it up there regardless anyways. And then I'm going to go file for legal action, and I'm going to file a lawsuit because I've been out of work for 90 days because of racial discrimination. I'm going to file a lawsuit. I'm going to the NAACP. I'm also going to Fox 8 News. I'm going to report it, and he will be held accountable for his actions. See, the thing is about racist people, racist white people, they want you to walk around with your head down and not speak up when something is going totally the wrong way. And it's really bothering me because they're already out there killing and murdering blacks on purpose, and all we do is verbally complain or go and file a lawsuit. That's my issue with the racist community. That's my issue. You never And you know what? The thing is about this coordinator, he's not a boss, he's a coordinator. He's had multiple complaints. This is why I don't understand why he's actually still there. Really bothering me. Um, that guy had absolutely no right to end my assignment. And it really took a toll on me because I end up losing my place. I had to force myself to go inside of a men's shelter, find another job, and save my money and do it all over again. All because I spoke up and I said that I was unfairly treated due to me speaking up for being mistreated. Here I am doing everything you asked me to do, and you're not doing everything you're supposed to do for me, and yet I need to leave. This is what my thing is. This is where my problem lies. Well, Paige really got under my skin for a little while because I'm like, this is my complaints over and over again. Come on, you got to do something about it. Get rid of this man. I mean, at one time they were getting ready to get rid of him. I don't know what happened. They switched departments or shifts or whatever, and they started switching people around. And I'm not gonna lie to you. I went to my witchcraft and I did my witchcraft, and I'm sorry, I had to because you don't bother people like that. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. Anyway, anyway, I feel like he needs to be terminated. He needs to be fired. He should be fired because, for one, he doesn't have any records indicating that I was in the wrong. It's all proven inside a computer-based system. So I would make sure that I would get you guys the conversation that goes on. I'm going to have a conversation with her. I'm going to have a conversation with the other lady and let her know as well. Because here I am, and I want every single dime I had to stay out of work for. I want every single last dime. Am I wrong for doing that? I can't be wrong for doing that. I can't be. So yes, I put him on social media. Yes, I did talk about him. Yes, I did call him a racist. Yes, I did post it on the reviews at Adecco Staffing. I posted it because it is. Ralph Lauren, I posted it. I made sure they heard my complaints. He is a racist, and I'm going to, as a matter of fact, when I get finished off this video, I'm going to go back and say some more. And I'm going to keep on saying it until he finally see that what I'm trying to say, I don't fucking like him. That's community guidelines. I'm sorry. I'm gonna cut that out. Try to. But seriously,